Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Keshara Chisholm and welcome back to my channel, Keshara Creates. It's been a minute, but I'm back. If you are new to my channel, hello, I am a certified therapeutic art instructor and a life coach. And on Tuesdays, we paint positive affirmations. And the affirmation that I picked for today is the affirmation of love. We can all use love in every area of our life. So we're going to create some loving energy with this lovely abstract painting that we're going to create today to focus our positive manifestation word of love. So, like usual, when it comes to our affirmation paintings that we do on Tuesday, I always like to keep it abstract. That way, I'm just expressing myself freely, and I feel like that helps the manifestation process to just be authentically myself. So, you guys are welcome to join along with me as I create this affirmation, or you can just watch and allow yourself to absorb all of that lovely, loving energy. All right. So I don't think I'm going to use as many colors as typical. Today I did kind of already think out some of the colors I wanted to use. So I want the background to mainly be yellow. And since this is going to be a picture of love, I am going to go ahead and pre-warn you there are going to be maybe just a little bit of hearts in there. But of course I wanted to use some red and some pink, maybe some oranges also, and of course black and white. So I am going to get started with my 2-inch flat brush. And since I want, well, let me secure my canvas first. Maybe that would be helpful. But I'm going to, I prefer to mix my backgrounds directly onto the canvas because I don't like it to just be one solid shade of one solid color. So that way it has a color variation or gradations into the background when you mix it right directly on the background. All right, enough talking. So I'm just going to grab some yellow paint, and this is some plain primary or brilliant yellow. I'm just grabbing my brush, and I'm just going to put some streaks of yellow paint pretty much everywhere on the canvas. Like I said, I want the background to be yellow. So right now I'm just going to make sure I have a good amount of yellow onto the canvas. All right, and don't forget to give your sides of the canvas and the top and the bottom of your canvas some love with this yellow paint as well. It's just easier to go ahead and paint your background and, the sides and everything of your canvas while you're doing the background. You can always go back once it dries and touch up the background if you want to. Excuse me, I keep saying the background, but the sides if you want to. But I just think it always comes out nicer and more uniform when you just go ahead and blend it together. All right, I think that's a good amount of yellow paint for a lovely yellow background. So I'm just going to grab some plain white paint. And see, I didn't even clean my brush off because we're going to mix it directly over top of what we've got going on. So I'm just going to put some streaks of white here and there. And we'll lighten up some of this yellow. And like I mentioned, don't forget to give some energy to the sides and the top of the bottom with this white paint also. That way it would just look nicely uniform. All right. Get some white paint up in here. All right. And I am a huge fan of neon colors. I like really bright colors. So today I am going to use a little bit of the neon pink. I don't even know if I mentioned that earlier, but I'm just taking a little teeny tiny bit. See, I'm not doing a lot because I don't want this background to turn orange. But in certain areas, I'm putting just little touches of that neon pink. All right. And if I feel like once I blend this out, if I feel like I got too much pink, I can always add more white and more yellow over top of it to blend it out. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do large strokes up and down just to blend out this lovely yellow tone. So we're going to do some nice smooth strokes to blend it out and see what lovely background shade we created for this lovely affirmation of love that we are going to manifest today. And I thought that love would be a great word to manifest because you can use it with so many different areas in your life. You could want love in your career. You could want to love your career. You could want more love in your household, or more love in your family relationships, or your romantic relationship, or just more self-love for your own self. There's so many things that you can use love as the center to manifest. And me, especially as a painter, I do write my affirmations or journal a lot as well. However, I love having my affirmations painted all around me as well. Not only do you put so much time, effort, and emotion and energy into creating the painting with that affirmation, that I feel like it just intensifies it even more because you have so much focus in regards to what you're manifesting. Not only that, but as you're creating the painting, you have all this time to think about all the different areas in which you can manifest that word. All right. And excuse me, I've been talking. I'm drinking some hot tea. Excuse me for a second. All right. And every time you look at your affirmation when it's hanging on the wall, you can think through the whole entire process of what made you pick that affirmation, what the affirmation means to you, what things that you have to be grateful for in regards to that affirmation. So today we're doing love. Every time you can see this, you can think about what made you choose love. What are the things that you love about your life? What are the things that you want to draw love into any areas of your life? All of those type of things. Every time you see a painting or an affirmation or a word that you created and put so much love and positivity into, that is just going to continue to resonate that energy every single time you look at it or share it with others. So, I got enough talking out the way. I do apologize in advance, but I like to blow dry in between my layers. That way it just doesn't take forever in the day. Acrylic paint dries really, really fast, which is why I love acrylic paint. If you want to, you could just wait 10 minutes on its own and let it dry. But I'm just going to blast it with my handy dandy blow dryer for maybe about 45 seconds. So just bear with me. Stay with me. You don't want to miss this lovely, loving affirmation. Everybody that stays to the end is going to have so much loving, positive energy coming their way. So you got to stay with me. Help me out. All right. So let me go ahead and blow dry this real fast. All right, I'm done with the blow dryer. So thank you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys that stay with me. A lot of loving energy is coming your way. Thank you. I love and appreciate you. All right, so we are going to get started with some hearts. We cannot do an affirmation of love without hearts. I'm extremely girly, so I'm surprised that I have not painted hearts and stars and rainbows and all of that already, but we're going to do some today. I felt like the affirmation of love would be perfect. Give me a great excuse to paint some hearts. All right, so I am switching to a smaller round brush. And this is just called a round brush because it has a tapered or rounded off edge. It does not come to a straight line. All right, so we're gonna do some red. And I said I was only gonna use these colors, but I already need another color. So bear with me. I'm gonna get just a teeny tiny bit of green. We're gonna use some green with our red to make a deeper shade. Jeez Louise. To make a deeper shade of green. So we really only need, excuse me, we're gonna use some green to deepen our red before we start making these lovely hearts for our positive affirmation of love that we are manifesting. Jeez Louise, I'm dropping paint bottles and everything. All right, so as you can see, I only got a little teeny tiny bit of green. We don't need a whole bunch of green. So I'm going to pull some red over here. So I'm just going to get some red and I'm going to do a little green at a time because the more green you add to it, the darker this red is going to be. If you add too much, it will almost turn to a burgundy tone. And I think I like that. I don't want it any darker than that. So now's the fun part. I get to be completely random. So I'm just going to make some random 3 random hearts, all different sizes. So 3 at the top and 3 down at the bottom. And see, they're not going to be the same size, which is perfectly fine. I'm not trying to make sure they're all perfect or have the same composition or anything like that. I'm just making 3 hearts. I'm going to smooth out some of the lines just a little bit. And see, the background isn't 100% dry, so if some of the background tone gets into your hearts, don't worry too much about it because we're going to add a lot more to these lovely hearts. All right, and let's do our lovely 3 little hearts down here. I'm gonna step on this side. I want the larger one right here. And of course, I'll put this one right in here. All right, so I'm going to smooth up the lines for these little hearts also. But I hope you guys missed me. I missed you guys last week. I had a lot of stuff that I'm catching up on. I'm getting the calendar and everything situated so you guys can go directly onto my website and schedule all your paint parties and affirmation parties and things of that nature. And soon I will be doing individual coaching classes in regards to therapeutic art and things along those nature as well. So I will keep you guys all informed with all that information also. And I just want to say thank you for everyone that's been supporting me, scheduling your painting parties with me, donating to my channel, liking, sharing, subscribing. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I would not be able to do this without each and every one of you. So I have to take the time to say thank you. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. All right, back to these hearts. And like I said, I'm not trying to make them perfect or anything. I'm just kind of more so smoothing out the edges around the sides of the hearts. All right, lovely, lovely. So we're going to start to pull some of that red in towards the middle of these lovely hearts. You see how I'm just pulling some of the paint going towards the middle. It's okay if it covers up some of the sides, that's fine. No big deal about that. Because we're just going to kind of play around with these hearts and blend in some different shades of pink into it. Some pinks and reds. All right, perfect. So now we are going to make an even lighter pink. So we are going to get some white, because pink is just white and red. So pink and red, and we're going to throw some of this hot pink in there too to make it a really vivid, really bright pink shade. Ooh, pretty, pretty, pretty. I like that. And you see, I kind of twist my brush around into the paint. That way it's make sure the paint is smooth and it's smoothly saturated onto the paintbrush. And I'm legitimately just going to start in the middle and kind of push into the hearts all over. And see, I'm kind of slightly filling it in with this little textured motion like this. See how quickly that starts to the blending process. So see, I'm kind of starting in the middle and then just blending out with that same tapping motion for the rest of the hearts. Same thing with this one, just tapping, tapping, tapping. I apologize. I know I sing, hum, all of that good stuff. I can't help it. I'm happy. That's what happy people do. All right. And I think we're doing good time too. Now, remember our affirmation for today is love. So while we're making these beautiful, lovely hearts and this beautiful, lovely abstract piece for our affirmation word of love, think about all the things that you already love in your life, and also think about all the things that you are expecting in regards to love in your life as well, or all the areas in which you would like to manifest more love into your life. All right, so you got it. We're going to make an even lighter version of this pink. So I took the pink that we already had, added some more white into it. I'm going to add some more of this neon pink into it also. I got to. A little bit more white. All right, and in the middle, do the same thing. And you see how it's blending into the other pink tone that we laid out? That is exactly what we want. We want the colors to blend together. There we go. So see, I'm still starting in the middle and blending out towards those other shades of pink with that same kind of tapping or dabbing motion with your paintbrush. And while I'm doing that, I'm just keeping my mind focused on love. That is our word that we are affirming today. So I am just thankful for all the love I already have into my life and all the love that is coming at this moment and in the future as well. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now I'm going to switch to a smaller round brush, just a smaller one, and around the red areas we're going to outline those again, and then we're going to do that tapping effect blending into the pink areas. So I need to make some more of that dark red tone, so we just need red and a little bit of green. You can always go back and add more green. So do the green little by little. It's a lot easier to darken the paint. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups today. It's a lot easier to darken your paint shades than it is to go back and lighten them up. So I'm just going to literally with this smaller paintbrush outline everything again with this red. It's perfectly fine if you go over any of those pink areas that we just laid out, because we're going to come back and do that tapping effect with these also. I'm being super OCD, but it's all good. I can't be the only artist that's super OCD about their stuff. I'm sure we all are. All right. I'm just outlining the hearts again with the red, making sure the edges are nice and smooth. So I'm just outlining it, nothing too complicated. I'm just outlining the hearts again in the red, making sure I keep the edges nice and smooth. Grab a little bit of water on my brush, thin this paint out just a little bit. There we go. It was kind of thick. Just thin it out just a little bit. There we go. And still doing the same thing. Gonna outline these 3 hearts up here with this red again also. So see, piece of cake, piece of pie, nothing too complicated. Just outlining the heart with the red again. That's all that we're doing. And I think for this lovely affirmation of love, that for me, my own self personally, that I want to focus it more towards self-love. Everybody, when they hear the word love, they think about love towards others and all of that good stuff. But for me, I'm manifesting self-love. I think that's the love that I want to focus on in my life at this moment. Self-love is the best love. You guys, you have to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. So I'm manifesting more self-love in my life with this lovely positive affirmation of love that we are creating today. And see, I'm just outlining the red, not doing anything fancy, not being overly particular about if I outline it perfectly the way I did earlier. Nothing like that. I'm legitimately just outlining these hearts. Focusing on my positive affirmation of love, self-love, loving life, loving relationships, loving connections, loving experiences, all the different ways in which I can manifest love into my life is the focus of this beautiful painted affirmation for love. All right. Perfect. Now, make a little bit more of that darker red. Then we're going to do the same thing with this red that we did with the yellow. Excuse me, the yellow. Sorry. that we did with the pink, but we're going to do it around the outline of these hearts. So see, just right around where we did the outline, we're going to do that same technique with the red. And you see how it starts to blend in with the pink that we already have. That is exactly what we want. Beautiful. Easy, easy, easy. And it looks like we took all day to do that. And look, we're not even 30 minutes in. Ooh, wait till you see what I have envisioned in my mind for the rest of this beautiful, lovely painted affirmation of love. And maybe for the rest of the week, you can give yourself maybe a little challenge at the end of each night to just think of something that made you feel loved that day, something that you love about yourself each day, a way in which you can spread love throughout the day, ways in which you showed yourself self-love, self-care. It can even be as simple as just saying no. Sometimes that's all the self-love you need, is just to say no. You can focus on things that you would love to do or that you would love to see, places where you would love to go, and start to focus your attention on those positive things and start developing ways in which you can draw those loving experiences into your life, into your existence. All things are possible. Once you see it, you can achieve it. All you have to do is believe that you can. So if you want a loving relationship, then just believe that you can have one, that you deserve one, that you will receive one. And every time you start having negative thoughts about, oh my goodness, I can't find anyone, I can't find someone to love me, blah, 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 change that thinking to, you know what? I love myself. The person that's for me is going to love me the same way I love myself. So on and so on and so on. Things of that nature. When you notice that you're focusing on what you don't want, try to reframe your thoughts to what you do want. All right, so I just went back around these little edges and kind of blending in some more with that red and the pink, just playing around with it some. Look how pretty it's looking. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Beautiful. All right. So I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so dehydrated today. I need my hot tea. All right. So we're going to use some black paint now. And I'm going to use an even smaller brush, a round brush. You could consider this a liner brush, but it's not as thin as I typically would consider a liner brush. Now, black paint and white paint are really thick. They're very opaque colors. The same with yellow. So typically, you have to dilute your black paint a good amount if you want to get nice, smooth, crisp lines with the black. And since we don't want our outlines to be thick or chunky with our black paint, we're going to take the time to grab some water and to thin out our black paint before we start painting. See how I'm kind of just thinning out the paint? Now, you don't want your paint so runny that when you hold your brush upside down, you have water dripping. That means you have too much water on your brush. You can either just mix in some more paint or wipe off the extra water. But you don't want your paint running down your picture. Perfect. So I'm not going to be too picky. I'm just going to outline these hearts in black. And see, this is why I took the time to thin out the paint a good amount. So hopefully I don't have to go back, or we won't have to go back and do another outline with the black. I want us to get it nice and smooth the first time. Painting is all about layers though, so after I get all 6 of these hearts outlined, if I feel like I want to do another coat, I will. Alright, I'm just outlining these guys with the black paint. And some people don't feel comfortable doing their black outlines with a paintbrush. You can do it with a Sharpie. I have had multitudes of people, especially at the art studio, do that. So if you feel more comfortable doing it that way, that is perfectly fine. Whatever feels comfortable for you. There's no right or wrong way to create art. Everyone is equally as creative. Do what flows natural for you. And another nice thing about acrylic paint in particular is that, like I mentioned earlier, is that it dries pretty fast. So if you do make a mistake, you can just let it dry and you can legitimately paint over top of anything once it's dried. So don't be afraid to make a mistake. It's not going to hurt anything. Especially with something that's fun and abstract like this. Everyone can paint a solid background and make some hearts. I purposely make sure that all of my painting tutorials are beginner friendly. Everyone has the potential to be an amazing artist. All it takes is a little bit of skill and direction and effort. You can be whatever you want to be. All you have to do is say that that's what you are. I decided one day that I was going to be an artist, and I kept on going until I became one. I was one as soon as I decided that that's what I was going to be. But we don't usually look at things in that perspective, but that is the truth. You are whatever you say you are, whatever you believe that you are. If you believe that you are love, like this lovely affirmation, then you will attract love. You'll bring love into your life. You'll create love through your experiences and your relationships, which is why each week it's so important to me to bring you guys a positive affirmation. And you guys, please share with me as well. I do take suggestions. If there is an affirmation that you would like to create, or a positive saying or phrase or anything along those lines, then just comment below. I do take suggestions. I have done that plenty of times before. If there's any painting techniques or skills or tools that you would like to practice or play around with, let me know that as well. And again, I just have to tell you guys, thank you so much for all your support each and every week. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all subscribing and liking and sharing my content. I appreciate it. Thank you for each and every comment. I love you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention, of course, all of my original artwork is available for purchase as well. I am currently accepting commission pieces again. I had to stop for a while because you guys love me so much that I was getting overworked. But I am back to doing commissions as of right now. So if you want a custom piece created by me, then just email me below. And all my information to all my websites, if you want to purchase any of my original pieces, or if you want to schedule a manifestation party or affirmation party or anything like that, you can do all of that down below. All of my stuff is linked below. All right. So still just outlining my hearts. And I probably will go over these hearts one more time with the black. The good thing I will say is that black is so dark that I'm not going to have to outline the whole entire heart, just kind of in any areas where I feel like the black might be thin in one spot or the other. So still just outlining our beautiful hearts. Just outlining the hearts in some black. Is it amazing how much the black, how much that outline just makes the heart stand out some more? All right. There we go. Almost there. 2 more hearts to outline. Bear with me. Like I mentioned, everyone that stays to the end, their life and their heart and their spirit's going to be filled with so much love. That's what we're creating today. This lovely, painted, joyful affirmation of love. So if you want more love in your life, stick around. That's what we're manifesting. We're manifesting love, which is why we have these lovely hearts going around. Since we're using 6 hearts, you can even think of 6 different things in particular that you want to focus or draw love into your life. You could pick 3 things that make you think of love that you're thankful for having in your life. And you can pick 3 things in which you're affirming love into that area of your life, or however you want to do it. You could do it all different 6 things that you're grateful of that make you think of love. Or you can do it all 6 things that you feel like you need to draw love into, different areas of your life. Or in different areas where you want to renew your love in certain aspects of your life. However you feel like this affirmation needs to be manifested within your own life. Still just outlining with the black paint. Still just outlining with the black. And see, with black and white, I'm always really particular like this. You do not want more black paint in a certain area that you don't want it. The same with white. Now, like I mentioned earlier, is that acrylic paint dries really fast. So if you do make a huge with your black paint, you can just, like I did earlier, use the blow dryer and go ahead and dry it off, or you can just let it air dry and then paint over top of it once it's completely dry. It does not take acrylic paint a long time to dry, which is lovely too. That is the main reason why I paint with acrylic paint. Is just because I am not the most patient person in the world. which sounds hard to believe because all artists, we are pretty patient because we know that creating anything takes its own time. You can't rush the process. However, oil paint takes a whole nother level of patience that I don't have. I didn't like painting with oil in school or in college. I don't paint with oil now. I think mainly so now I'm just so used to working with acrylic. I think I still have some oil paint from forever ago. I don't even know if it's still good. Maybe I'll just play around with it just because I have it. All right, almost done outlining these lovely hearts. All right, I'm not going to be as meticulous, but I'm going to touch up some of these black areas where I feel like I just need them to be a little bit more smooth, or if I feel like it wasn't thin enough, or excuse me, thick enough in a certain area. And I said I wasn't going to outline the whole thing, but as you can see, I clearly did. But look at how much quicker it was that time. I wasn't being as meticulous. I'm just doing another layer over top of it. You always want your black and your white paint to look really nice and crisp and sharp. So take that extra time to make sure that it's the way that you want it to be. And don't rush the process, which is another reason why, as an artist, it was important to me to do all of my tutorials in real time, especially after being the resident artist at a paint and sip art studio for 4 years. I noticed that the number one scare or fear that people have is that they think that they're supposed to put down just a base coat and it's supposed to be perfect, a masterpiece. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Painting is all about layering. If you put down the first coat, that's just the first coat. That's the process that every artist goes through. So no, it's not automatically going to be a perfect picture just from the first coat. That does not mean that you mess anything up or that you don't have the potential to make a beautiful piece. It just means that you're just now starting the process. So I like to do my tutorials in real time so that everyone can see exactly how long it actually took me to create this piece and really all the work and love and attention that went into it. So they can see that it didn't just take me 5, 10, 20 minutes to create this, that it is a process, but at the same time, it is easy and feasible for everyone to achieve. You see how much faster these outlines are going now? I'm not being as particular, just making sure that the line is nice and bold and crisp. Look at how good it makes the hearts look. Our lovely, lovely hearts for our love affirmation. We're manifesting love into every area and aspect of our life with this beautiful painted affirmation of love. Keep your mind focused on love and joy and positivity and all the love that you already have in your life and all the love that you are bringing into your life. Whatever love means to you, however that resonates to you. Like I mentioned, for me, I want to focus more so on self-love. You have to love yourself first. You cannot pour out of an empty cup. If you're not giving your own self love and attention, then how on earth are you going to give it to others? And maybe possibly get into the habit every day, either when you wake up in the morning or at the end of the day. Start thinking of some things that you loved about the day, some things that made you feel love, some things that you love about yourself or your loved ones in your family or in your circle. But start the day and end the day with things that you love on your mind in a positive way. Positivity is key. Don't think of all the things that you want to love in a way of lack. You want to think of them in a way of optimism, like soon I will have this thing. I'm manifesting this thing into my life as of right now. So if there's an area that you want to devote to bringing love into your life in that area, you want to start thinking of it as if you already have it. All right. Ta-da! Perfect. We've got all of those outlined legitimately. Probably the longest it will take for us today will be to do that. All right. So I'm going to put this brush down and I'm going to get a liner brush, or excuse me, not a liner brush, but a flat brush. And I'm doing that because I want to get some smooth lines with the black. So see how I'm kind of dipping into it side to side like this? That way the point is nice and saturated with the paint color that I want to use. So I'm going to draw 2 lines coming up from the sides of the hearts. And see, I'm just being random with them. Same thing down here. Voila. And matter of fact, I'll use that same brush. And then just with the black paint, I'm going to do little quick lines going towards the center of each one of these little sections that we made with the black. See how I'm adding just quick little lines? See, really quick little lines. See how fast that is? I'm not thinking that through too much. If they go off the top or the bottom, make sure you mimic that on the top, the bottom, and the sides also. You see, I'm just doing some black to the sides. All right. I'm going to make it a little bit heavier on the sides. As you can see, I'm just making it thicker on the sides. There we go. Ooh, this is gonna be so pretty. I'm excited. And believe it or not, we're pretty much almost done. And see how I'm kind of just tapping into where the side is so you can't see that line. I'm kind of exaggerating some of those stripes down the middle. Just covering up the sides. All right, lovely. We're gonna do some white in between there too. And I'm not even gonna clean off my brush. I'm just gonna mix into the white that I already had on here until I get like a gray tone. And I'm just going to, in the middle areas, do some streaks with this gray. See? And see, I'm going to write our affirmation word right here. I'm going to do our affirmation word in white. And then we're going to do some white and black highlighting at the end. And then we are done. So, what we're at, 53 minutes right now. Maybe 10 more minutes at the absolute most. I promise. All right. So, I'm going to switch back to that larger round brush that we originally made our hearts with. So our larger brush to do our words. So it's not going to take as many layers or anything like that since we're going to use a larger brush. However, like I mentioned earlier, white and black paint, you do want to dilute a good amount. So that is what I am doing. All right. So we are doing love. I'm just gonna go over it one more time. I'm actually going to blow dry this really fast. That way we can outline the letters and then just finish up. And this will only take a second, I promise. All right, that's good enough for that. Let's just go over the lettering one more time with the white. There we go. And I know I got kind of quiet. I get kind of quiet when I'm getting down to the finishing stretch. All right, so yes, of course, I'm going to outline this in black so that it stands out against that yellow background some more. So I'm just thinning out my black some more. And I promise we're almost done. Trust me. And I probably won't outline this twice. I think I'm just going to leave it at once. But we shall see. I try to keep all of my tutorials between an hour and a half, especially since they're geared towards beginners. So I'm not trying to keep you guys all day. And like I mentioned before, if you don't feel comfortable doing your outlines with a paintbrush, you can do a Sharpie as well, or a paint pen, or if you feel more comfortable writing it that way. I'm being super OCD, but that's just me. See, this is what I mean when I say it takes patience. It's going to take as long as it takes. already. Ooh, I got an idea that I'm gonna do instead of outlining this in the black again. And I would throw my paintbrush. We're almost done, you guys, I promise. All right, so I'm gonna clean this brush off for a second, and we're gonna go back in with some of this white paint. And right in here, I'm gonna do some little squiggles or accents of the white right over top of these areas where we added the gray. Up in here too. All right, I'm going to do some highlights around the heart or the hearts with some white paint also. And see, I'm just being very random with it. I'm not making them all the same, purposely making them different. Just adding some highlights with the white. All right. I'm gonna take a step back. Pretty. All right. So I'm going to go in with a smaller flat brush now and do that same kind of loading into the black paint, because we're gonna use this flat brush with the black paint, and we're gonna do little lines coming outside of the black outlined areas where our lovely love affirmation word is. And it doesn't matter what direction they're going in, as long as it's coming out from that black line. I'm just doing little spikes coming off the back or around the black outline for our painted affirmation of love. And see, I kind of make sure I have some going in all different directions. You don't want to be able to see any yellow coming out from that line though. There we go. We're getting there. Not much longer. Yeah, I think I like this. Final touches with this black. I promise everyone that stays is going to be filled with so much loving, joyous, positive energy. I promise, I promise. That's what we're manifesting with this beautiful painted affirmation today is love. More reasons to be loving, more things to love about ourselves and the others in our lives, more things to celebrate in regards to love, all those beautiful things. We're almost getting there, you guys. 2 letters down, 2 more to go. And this one's halfway done. Yep, I'm glad I made the choice to do this though. I feel like it fills it in more. I feel like we had too much negative space without these little wispies coming off of our lettering. For our love affirmation, bringing in the love, manifesting, affirming all kinds of loving energy into our lives. All right. Not even going to mess And this little area of the E, we're just going to leave that alone. And then we're going to be done. After this, we're done. All right. I think I'm suffice with that. I'm going to leave it alone. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me for another Tuesday affirmation painting. Today, we painted to lovely affirmation word of love. If you have any suggestions for next week's affirmation, make sure that you comment below. If you'd like to purchase any of my artwork or schedule a painting party with me or a painted affirmation party with me, all my information is linked down below for that as well. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment. All of that really does help my channel continue to grow. And thank you guys for just joining me today. I appreciate each Lord, I cannot talk. I appreciate, excuse me. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you guys Thursday for another painting tutorial. Have a great day. Bye.